Right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. My name is George.
My name is James Taylor, and welcome.
Welcome. Sorry about not recently uploading. Obviously, I think we're on episode 7 or 8 now, and we didn't upload the previous episode, which was actually really good in my opinion.
We recorded a fire episode.
Yeah, it was a long episode as well. It was about an hour. I think it was nearly 2 hours.
It was a long episode.
Anyway, tried to upload it a couple times. Got an email through, and it literally said we can't upload it because it violates the regulations and
the terms and conditions. Listen, people,
yeah.
This video was fucking fire.
No, it was.
We got fucking drunk. We drank half a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Spitting pure facts. It wasn't like we were drunk, slurring our words. It just fired.
Yeah, it flowed really nicely.
We were throwing alcohol on the fire, right? And it literally generated one of the greatest conversations
it was really
the world has ever seen. And YouTube won't allow it. I wonder why.
Yeah. But it's really weird, to be fair, because it's not like we're a big channel. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know why it got deleted. It's not like many people are going to see it.
Exactly.
But yeah, anyway. Right, to start off with, I think we're going to talk about, this Air Force man, this US Air Force man that set himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy.
Yes.
His name was Aaron Bushnell, I think.
Yeah, Bushnell.
Bushnell, yeah. What would you like to say about
I
this?
would say that. I mean, listen. When you, it's kind of a horrific video, or it probably would have. It would have been a horrific video 10 years ago, but now we're so used to seeing, like death.
Horrific video.
Like we're used to on Twitter. You see stuff like this all the time. The amount of times you see maybe not someone set on fire. This is maybe a little bit sadder because obviously this is an agenda-driven suicide, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, before we get into that, I was almost worried when I saw it. I was thinking, why am I not like scarred?
No, you should be, because it's horrific. We've
become completely desensitized to seeing
the video. This man is literally like on fire. Burning,
he stands there.
He's literally screaming.
He covers himself in petrol. I believe people it was either some security guards at the embassy were saying, "Excuse me, sir, can I help you? Can I help you?" And then he says, "Free Palestine!" Boom, bursts into flames, and I'm not gonna lie, it's about 40 seconds, and that's him done. Yeah, it's horrific.
And there was a lot of people coming over, like security and stuff, and I think they were pointing a gun at him.
Yeah, so there was the one who was an IDF soldier or security.
Yeah,
right? He was pointing a gun at him. People are saying, "Well, that's bad," blah blah. But in all fairness, and I'm just trying to look at it from both sides. There's a guy on fire. Like there could have been a bomb. I don't know.
No,
there could have been anything.
It's almost like a terrorist act, if you like. We're not saying what he is doing is a terrorist act.
Yeah,
you would see it as
100%. It could easily be an act of terror. If you've done that outside the White House, this is the way I see it. If you did that outside the White House or outside Buckingham Palace or some shit, someone's going to point a gun at you. So like I get people don't like the IDF, but to say that they're all fucked up because this one guy pointed a gun. Yeah, do that outside the White House. You don't think any, Secret Service or security members for the president would be pointing a gun at some guy on fire? They don't know if the fire's going to, set off some explosives he could have on him, on his person. So yeah,
no, definitely.
But I will say that, listen, the reason it's sad to me is, and maybe you, is completely different to why it's sad to so many people. So many people saying it's sad because, he's fighting a cause and no one really cares and it hasn't helped the cause or whatever. But the way I see it, it's sad because this is a guy who's clearly mentally delusional and not right in the head. He has been used and he's pushing this agenda, and this Free Palestine movement has caused a man to kill himself, and people are painting him out to be a hero, which I think is the wrong message. Because one, you're encouraging people to kill themselves, and especially to do more acts like this in the name of Palestine. These people, and I said this on a tweet or a post on X, these people would love it if more people did this. You understand? The people of Palestine, the people who are pushing these agendas, a lot of these journalists on Twitter see this. They are rubbing their hands and licking their lips. They've seen an opportunity to say, okay, to them, okay, people are starting to listen. This could help. They don't care about his family. They say, "Oh, our thoughts are with his family." No. So you're saying because people are dying, the way to respond to that is to kill more people, but this time an Israeli. No, a US soldier, military man, you know?
No, completely.
It's crazy. They wouldn't care if there was 20 more, wives who are now widows or kids orphaned now. They don't care.
Definitely. And I had quite a few, disagreements with some people on Twitter about this as well. I see a post and it was like, "Oh, this man's so brave. What he's done is a heroic act." In my opinion, I don't think it's heroic at all.
No.
I think it's quite. Don't take this the wrong way, but I think it's quite a cowardice act. It's obviously terribly sad that he set himself on fire and had to get to that point. But at the end of the day, everyone's preaching at the minute, to be a real man, you need to face the consequences of life, your mental health struggles, and sort of being the coward and killing yourself is taking the easy way out. And also, people are saying it's an act of bravery and stuff for Palestine, right? It doesn't actually help the cause at all when you really think about it. He could have used so much of that energy and so much of that, negative issues and mental health problems that he had to channel that to actually put it towards a better cause rather than just, the thing is with what he done is it will be in the news for a couple of days, then everyone will forget about it. The only people that will still care will be his close family and close friends. So reality is he didn't actually help the cause that much. He may have, made a media headline because it's horrific. But apart from that, he didn't help. He could have started a massive, campaign, for example, to help the people in Palestine, help free the people from Palestine. Or he could have gone to Palestine and fought against it. There's plenty of other things he could have done rather than, setting himself alight to make a statement, in my opinion. And I don't think it was the brave act. And I think people need to realise that. It is not a brave act at all.
No one cares. No one actually cares. No one, other than his loved ones, lost sleep that night or cried.
No.
They didn't
care. Like I said, it might be in somebody's mind for 20, 30 seconds when they read it on the headline. Oh, how sad. Boom, gone.
All he did was take away one more Palestine supporter.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is really where I have an issue with it. With the journalists and some of the people on Twitter who are celebrating this and saying he's a hero. They're saying he's a hero.
It's also such a horrific way to kill yourself.
Exactly.
It's like a not satanic way,
delusional.
but it is.
It's insane. No sane person does that. He could have just blown his brains out.
Yeah, it's such a horrific way to die. I probably would say it's one of the worst ways to go out.
Probably, yeah. But here's the thing. And this is the issue. He's on Team Palestine, right?
Yeah.
If someone who was pro-Israel done that, they would all the headlines would be, see, this is what Bibi Netanyahu does. Yeah. This is what the Team Israeli people are like. Do you know what I'm saying? It would be the complete opposite reaction. They say, look, everyone in Israel is crazy. They're setting themselves on fire. They're delusional. They're genocidal. Blah, blah, blah. But because of someone on the Team Palestine, they completely disregard all of the issues with the act. And because he said free Palestine, they care.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the reality is Palestine and Israel, they are both funded by the same people.
Well, US are funding both of them.
Yeah, it is literally people were, I think it's horrific what's going on in Gaza. And, all these people are dying, innocent people as well. It's the same with Russia and Ukraine. It's terrible. But the reality is you are literally all collateral damage. And I'm not talking about the people that are there getting killed, and blown up. I'm talking about the people that are, promoting it on social medias, promoting it on Twitter, promoting it on Instagram. People that are pushing it, that's what they want you to do. They want you to make it a bigger issue and sort of push that agenda. They want you to advertise it basically for free.
100%. Listen, it's almost the point now. Even the Russia-Ukraine is actually completely different because it's the same in a way, right?
Yeah.
But with the Russia-Ukraine, every government member on the to a certain extent, on the left or the right, all over the West, the opinion is the same across the board. Either they're pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia, or they still don't like Russia, but they don't want money going to Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it's either they don't want to get involved or they're team Ukraine. The issue with this war, and no one's pointed out, is that everyone's on both sides. UK and the US are giving weapons to Israel and then giving aid to Gaza. They just want it to go on. I promise you, they want this war to actually happen.
Yeah,
they genuinely want this war to happen.
Game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people don't realise it. You know, you get these people protesting in London for Palestine. Yeah, okay, listen, it's terribly sad. Terribly, terribly sad. But the reality is, you are bringing more light to that situation. And
away from the current situation in the country you're living in.
Yes.
100%.
And it's sort of diverting your attention to something else. And like I said, it is disgusting what they are doing over there, you know, backing these people into this tiny, tiny radius and killing them and slaughtering them. But like I said, the reality is you are just part of the pawn being played. You're just going to be collateral damage. And I'm not talking about the people dying, because people that are dying, like I said, it's so terrible. It's horrific.
Yeah, but remember, they're not members. They're not in the West, so they don't care about them. They care about you. Your collateral damage in the sense that your brain is somewhere else. Your mind is somewhere else. You are so focused on this. They are winning by having you so focused.
And that's what they want you to be, focused on that, divided between the people. You know, you're divided the Israelis and the Palestinians. As a collective, they're divided, rather than combining forces and saying, do you know what, we're going to stand up and actually stop this war.
Yeah. Then Muslims and Jews.
Yeah. Not just saying, right, we're going to fight each other. You know, we're going to fight the Jews and the Palestinians. We're going to fight in the streets of London. Okay, the smarter thing to do would be to go, hang on a minute, they're funding both sides of the war. Let's combine together and stop the fucking government funding the war in general.
This is what I'm saying, mate. And you notice a lot of the people especially the right in the United States. So Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, who was running for president. I mean, you could say Trump as well. These people are actually kind of pro-Israel because they're US allies. But the thing is, they're not focused on it because they know it's got nothing to do with that country. Like, this is the way you have to think about it. If your country isn't perfect, you cannot worry about all of the other stuff going on elsewhere because there's a reason the news are showing it. And this kind of goes into something like, people will say, okay, well, I don't trust the news is all a distraction. But when the news show Israel and Gaza, which they still are, they have been doing it for so long, they focus on it.
Yeah.
They focus on it.
The reality is, if you don't believe the news in anything else, why do you believe it in that specific scenario?
Exactly. It's crazy. And I would just say that, yes, be concerned, but don't, there is nothing you can do here.
No.
There's nothing you can do here. Unless you're really the only people, and this is why I don't speak about it too much anymore and give my actual opinion on the situation, is because unless you're willing to send troops from your own country to go die in this war, in this conflict, well then, don't bother talking about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. And remember, guys, both of these places, Israel's a US ally, right? Or a Western ally. They want to throw us off the top anyway. So, and same in Palestine. In Palestine, you think they would help England? Do you think they would help the UK? Or they would help USA if roles were reversed and somehow they came to the very top of the power? Israel are allies with us, yeah, but if they somehow became the superpower, you think they would be helping in the same way? No fucking way. Neither would Ukraine. Obviously, the relationship's basically done with Russia, but yeah, don't be too compassionate.
No, completely. And you need to think about what's actually going on in terms of the US are funding the Ukraine war, okay? They're also funding the Palestine and Israeli war, same as the UK. The reality is, why would they fund something that they don't get anything out of? Okay? They're not going to fund something if they just know it's just an endless pit of money and they're never going to get anything back from it, okay? They're funding that for a reason. They're getting something out of it, some benefit out of it, okay? So you need to look at that. Why are they promoting it so heavily? Why are they pushing it through the media? Why are they using this propaganda? Why are they pushing it on you?
100%.
It is so 100%. True because You're not
Yeah,
going to fund something if you don't get anything out of it. I'm not going to invest £10 million in James's new business if I'm not getting 25 million back, or at least
exactly.
I think I'm getting that back.
Yeah.
At least
Well,
I can see the risk.
Yeah,
to
whether it
reward.
works out that way, but they have to have a vision of some.
Yes, there has to be a benefit for them.
Yeah,
completely.
the whole idea. Listen, the whole idea of aid to countries is always based in profits coming back in one way or another.
Are they getting a percentage of the land? Are they, when the war's over, if they funded them, are they going to be involved in the startups and the rebuild of that?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because a lot of Chinese companies do this. They'll go to like Africa, for example, and they'll say, "Look, we'll give you some money to fund and invest and do whatever you want to do with it, but we want to take X amount of land and put our businesses here."
That's why China's taken over Africa. They are.
Yeah, they've literally taken over Africa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is crazy.
But like I said, always try and look at things. Why are you you are being played at the same time? Like I said, it's so sad what's going on. But you need to look at the bigger picture. It's all funded by the same person. They want you to be arguing. They want you to be disagreeing with each other. They want you to be fighting and take your attention away from what's actually going on.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you're in America, right, you should be thinking, okay, they want me so concentrated on what's going on in Israel and Gaza. They're throwing these numbers out there. X amount of people died.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. I don't believe any of the numbers they give. That's one thing, right? Second of all, okay, they want me looking at this, but there's an election coming up very, very soon in this country that is going to affect everything. Why are they not talking about this? The number one guy running on the right, Trump, he's being removed from all these ballots in all of these states. Why is the government not talking about that? Why are they telling me about some apparent airstrike in the other side of the world that doesn't affect me? Do you understand? You should be thinking about these things. It doesn't make you cold-hearted in any way, shape, or form. It makes you smart and it just makes you fucking smart and with it and sharp. Like, you need to be thinking about what's going on here. It doesn't matter what's going on across the world if you're getting fucked over in your country, which you definitely are. Same in the UK. Talking about in the UK, listen, I'll be honest, it's more Ukraine for some reason. Yeah. It's less Israel over here in terms of aid. But Rishi Sunak has been talking about that lately, and saying, and so is everyone in the British government talking about how the protests and stuff is getting out of order, and then obviously the whole thing going on with Sadiq Khan and whether
they're all clowns.
Who's a terror sympathizer, who's being Islamophobic, blah blah blah. Again, there's an election in the UK this year. Mm. What? Okay, what's going on? Are we going? What's happening? Do you know what I mean? Second quarter of negative. Do you know what I mean? This is a recession.
Country's in a recession.
We're in a recession now. We're not talking about that. Oh no, we're talking about the protesters on the street. Even though we didn't care about that. No, you have the right to protest, but now it's an issue because there's an election going on. This, that, and the other. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy man, but it sounds very coincidental that all of these things are coming into light as soon as there's an election and we have to start thinking about voting. Now, when it comes to voting, we're going to be thinking about the social issues that have nothing to do with this country rather than policy. And, well, hang on a minute. Well, what's going on? Why is that so expensive now?
Yeah.
They're going to be thinking that. They're going to be thinking, oh, well, he's pro-Gaza. This is the way they're going to be thinking.
I've said this before, but you need to realise they don't care about you in your own country. So who thinks that they care about the Palestinians dying in fucking Gaza?
No. Knowing full well that the people who run that area of land, right, they hate the West. Knowing they hate them, think about this. If you hated someone, would you just give them aid when they get...
No.
No.
You're not going to. And like I said, they do not care about you. They do not care about us as a collective anyway. They're literally making it so difficult for people to get out the rat race, as they want to call it. They make it so difficult now, especially in the UK. I'm guessing it's the same in America as well, but I can only speak for the UK. But I was having this conversation about how they make it so difficult to get out the rat race. As soon as you've got a mortgage, boom, that's it. Mortgage, settled down, that's it. You're finished. You've got fucking 20 to 40 years to pay it off. That is your life over. You are stuck in that debt cycle now.
Yeah, you are done.
You are literally finished. As soon as you've got a mortgage, that's it. Like you're finished. and they make it difficult.
It makes
for
me
you
feel
to...
bad. I do actually feel bad because sometimes I'll see people. It depends on what we're talking about, but sometimes a lot of girls as well. And I kind of used to be the same until we started this show and around. But there's some people, they're so like on their story, blah 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 blah. This is going on. This is going on. Fuck Ukraine. Blah blah. Blah. Like, well, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. They want you distracted.
Yeah.
And you're only posting like we're kind of doing similar things, but we're trying to get the message out. Do you know what I'm saying? And we're not like overly obsessed. And we start to, but they have you fixated on this one issue, and especially when it comes to these wars, and then you're thinking about shit going on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that doesn't really. You can't impact it. Or it doesn't impact your life too much, unless obviously we go to World War. But then everyone's fucked anyway.
Then suddenly you don't care that you can't even make your fucking car payments, or you have car payments.
And the thing is, everything's going up, but are the wages going up?
I don't know.
It's like I don't know,
but I doubt it.
Inflation is massive in the UK, and I honestly don't know how a lot of people. There must be so many people struggling at the minute, like fucking terribly with the bills and stuff. Because, like I said, I don't think the wages are going up, are they? But prices of food and stuff are going up. I bought something earlier. I bought fucking coffee and like a wrap or something from Pret, right?
Yeah,
it was like fucking 12 quid.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, obviously, like, I don't care because I bought it anyway. But I was like, fucking 12
but that's
quid.
what I'm saying. But this is
and
why...
it wasn't even that nice. Like, at least I'd rather pay more for food if it's nice and it tastes good. But if the food tastes like shit, I don't want to pay more.
This is what I'm saying. A lot of the time, the people who can afford it are the ones who actually notice it and have an issue with it. The amount of rich people, I'm not talking like vastly wealthy. I'm not talking hundreds of millions, but a couple of people, they'd be like millionaires or close to millionaires, and they kind of get a understanding of how money works and inflation and this and that, and then they're the ones who go, no, fuck no, I'm not getting that coffee for £5.
Yeah,
because they think, no, I'm not playing victim to this bullshit.
Yeah, no,
do you know what I'm saying? And things are getting out of control, and people, they're distracted, so they don't care as much.
No, exactly. They're taking your mind off what's really going on as they slowly ruin your fucking life, basically. And you're worried about Israel and fucking Palestine when they funded both sides anyway.
Exactly. And you said about the wages and stuff. It's not just that. People are so depressed. I remember saying this before. It was a couple months ago, right? And I remember saying, I was texting a girl, right? And I was saying, I think I was driving somewhere. It was like 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning. And I remember saying, I did not see anybody smile.
No.
I was in traffic standstill. Yeah. You're looking in the cars, all this. I don't see people happy ever.
No, and
unless I'm talking to them.
If you go back 20, 30 years ago, or even further back when your grandparents and stuff, there used to be actual communities in the UK.
Yeah, there were communities.
If you needed some milk, you go and knock on the next door neighbour's door and say, "Oh,
you would ask for sugar."
You'd ask for some sugar. But now it's like, I bet most of you haven't even spoke to your neighbours or don't even know your neighbours. Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's probably where a lot of it breaks down as well. I've never really looked at it from that point, but if the community breaks down as well, nobody's, if something's going wrong, if there's potholes in the road, for example, at least if you've got a tight community, you can all go, hang on a minute, we're pissed off about this, let's go to the local council and make a fuss about it.
Yeah, and if you've been in those communities, I've been in a few, and I've seen them get, people get together and they'll say, because I used to do some of that. I used to, I used to fix, do the road or redo a lane on a private road.
Yeah,
and then,
you've got an old lady down your road and you go and paint a fence for her or something.
Exactly, right. And then, you'd ask questions. Oh, so whose idea was it to get this? Oh, all of us. What do you mean all of us? Well, me, him, Mark, Clark down the road. Oh, everyone on this road's all in. We all chipped in. And I was like, you know each other? Yeah, we got a group chat.
Yeah.
What? You got a group chat? Most people, I know my neighbours.
So
but a lot of people really don't, never ever spoken to their neighbour. They could not tell you their names, and if they saw them, they might say hello outside the house. If they saw them in Tesco's, they'd walk straight past them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And another thing you were saying, we were talking about the people and the communities. It starts, like we said a couple episodes ago, talking about the family unit.
Yeah.
It goes family, then it goes to community, then it goes to town, then city, then nation. You understand? And now it's not like that. And it's people so now people are unhappy in the house. So then they're unhappy in the street, then the town, then the fucking nation. And the number one thing I've noticed as I've sort of got older, I'm only 22, but you go and get served places, people aren't even happy anymore.
No. And do you know what? That's true.
They're not happy. When I look into the eyes of these people
They
serving me, even
just look lost.
Even a loud, busy, even like a bar where people are generally in a good mood around.
Yeah.
The people serving you, you can just see the sadness and despair in their eyes, and you can tell.
You can sort of feel it,
You're
can't
like
you?
2 rejections away from blowing your fucking brains out.
No, it's so true. I went to Wales, and I remember I was there, and anyway, we sat and got some food in some restaurant, and I remember this waitress come over, and she asked for our meal and that, and then she starts talking to us like, "Oh, how's your day been? Like, why are you here?" Started chatting to us, and I was honestly so mesmerised that she started having a conversation with us. It
takes you away.
I was literally like, I cannot believe this. Like, she's having a conversation with us, not just, oh, okay, bye, and then just takes your meal and fucks off.
Yeah.
She literally had a full-blown conversation with us. She come back over, give us our food, had another conversation with us. And it was really nice to see.
And real.
It was
real as well. That's the thing. It wasn't
just made up. It was like her just being a friendly person, just wanting to talk to people, because that's her job. Like, just come in, have a little chat. And I thought it was really interesting. And it wasn't just that. I was also in Wales as well. The next bar we went to, we were sat down and some couple just come over and started speaking to us, and I just thought that's so lovely. Like, imagine doing it down like in London, around where we are.
Oh, yeah.
They
look at you like a weirdo.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. If you try and speak to somebody or have a conversation with somebody, they think you're a creep.
Yeah, well, literally. Well, I had this conversation as well, and this was only a couple of weeks ago, right? So
obviously not me and James.
Yeah, no,
we're not creeps.
No, we're not creeps that you know of, right? But I was getting something done on my car, right? And opposite the garage, there's a pub. Really lovely pub. I thought, I'll go in there, get a drink or whatever. Went in there, and it's a busy pub. People were just sat there and talking, and the staff would come out, how you doing? And then these people weren't even locals.
Yeah.
And I could tell they weren't local just because of the area of the pub. Like, it's not there isn't locals. Do you know what I mean? Like, where it is. And it's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah, get you any more? Laughing and I was like, I literally turned. The guy who's doing who owns the garage, he was having a drink with me. I said to him, I was like, what is this? I don't see this anymore ever. Why does this not happen?
It's almost like people have lost that touch of like, it's actually really sad when you think about it, because obviously at the minute we're at that moment in time when you've still got your grandparents and your parents that lived through that generation without technology.
Yeah.
But now we're coming into the era where, we're all right, because we were sort of at that age where there wasn't, when you were like,
when you're younger, there is
a phone.
Yeah.
You didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
But we're coming into that era now where when you're 6, 7, 8, 5, even lower, whatever, you've got an iPad, you've got a phone, you're using your parents' phone.
You've got FaceTime and you're 4 years old.
Exactly. You don't develop that sort of connection with actual human beings. And instead, it's just with a phone, for example. And you'll see it in 20, 30 years' time. There's going to be a lot of people that really struggle to talk to people.
Yeah. No, genuinely can't have a conversation.
Really cannot have a conversation. And I think this is why you're seeing a big rise in like social anxiety, for example. People don't want to talk to people because they're just so used to speaking to people on the internet.
Yeah, and it just hurts you in every aspect of your life. Like, I might think about it. Like, communication is the number one thing, other than like your physical capability. Communication's key, right? So if you can't communicate, you can't make friends, you can't make business relations, you can't get relationships out of girls, or even the beginning stages to even, not even a relationship, you can't even talk to a girl to make
you can't maintain a conversation.
You can't do step one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then even when for example, you say, like, let's say you have someone serving you. Some of these people, when I say they look so, sad and they don't having to engage in the conversation, some of them like can't. You hear them, and it's like, they're like nodding and shit. It's like, fucking talk to me.
Yeah, like,
do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe it's because we're quite talkative guys, and I do sort of pay attention to the way people talk and how good they are at talking. I'm trying to improve all the time, but
always,
it's just it must be these. But at the same time, but I'm not complaining, because this has made my life 10 times better, because I can still talk.
Yeah.
So good communication plus this, you're at the fucking top.
And if you can translate it into posts, videos, etc.,
exactly,
it's even more important. But also, I think it takes away a lot of why people were potentially becoming so sad and depressed. You know, when you actually speak to a person and, you know, you're having that conversation, you develop some type of emotion. And I don't know scientifically if it does anything, but I can imagine it produces some sort of chemical in your brain when you're just having a conversation with someone, making a friendship, having a relationship. But because
Yeah.
all these people are constantly on their phones, they don't have that stimulation that you would as if you were having a conversation.
It's like that dopamine hit, isn't it? It doesn't.
It's like,
You don't
it
get
won't be the same as just looking at it on the screen. It's
Yeah.
completely different when you're with a person.
Well, yeah, it's like you get these exactly right. It's like you get these guys, right? And I'll change it up a little bit and give you an example, a bit of a funny one, right? But you get these guys, right? All they do every single day, 2 times a day, they're watching fucking porn on their phone, right?
Yeah,
They're watching some weird, freaky page 99 shit, right?
yeah.
Like just outright. If people found out what they were watching,
They'd
fuck
be
me.
arrested.
They'd be arrested or they'd blow their brains out, right? So then what happens? Well, they're not stimulated when they see a girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're not stimulated, you can't actually talk to the girl.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I don't watch any of that shit, right?
No.
So then if I'm like around a girl, like,
you almost want to pursue her.
it makes you more likely. If you think about it,
yeah.
if you watch porn every single day, you see a good-looking girl in the bar or whatever, and even if she's looking at you, you might think, well, it doesn't stimulate you the same way. It doesn't get the fucking blood flowing to where it needs to flow. Exactly right. And you know, it sort of gets you that riled up. Sometimes people say, "Oh, like, we'll use me as the example."
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's true. Let's say, "Oh, how do you talk to girls?" It's like, how did you learn to do? Not me, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? But say, "Oh, you're good at talking to girls." It's like, well, what do you mean? No, this isn't like. This is just if you get around a girl and you're not used to seeing fucking people fucking every 2 seconds on your phone, well then something inside of it's like human nature to talk to girls.
I think
back in the day, everyone could talk to girls.
It gives you that sort of, not pressure, but it's sort of, to actually get anything, you need to actually pull it off. So it's like let's take for example,
like money.
Let's take for example school. You know, if you ever done your homework, whatever. Anyway, say for example you got an assignment and it's due the next day. Okay, you will do that if you done homework, etc. You would do that the night before and you'd smash it out in like fucking 10 minutes.
You have to.
You have to do it. Like, it's almost like this urge to, like, you have to do it. Not have to do it as in make it happen, but you have the more of an urgency to do it.
Well, there's no cushion. Think about it. Imagine
it's not like you can just go home. Don't worry about the homework.
It's like trials. It's like this opportunity won't come back. If you've got a fucking, let's say you're trying to do sports or whatever, you've got a football trials. There's some scout coming from some big football club.
You have to try harder.
You're thinking, shit, this opportunity might not come again until the fucking summer. I don't. If that. So you're chatting to a girl,
it's
right?
The same thing.
You're thinking, well, if I fuck this up, I'm not going out again for another couple of weeks. There might not be any girls. This girl might like me. There's a chance that she even likes me. Fuck, I've got to make it happen. Next thing you know, without even thinking, you're Prince Charming.
Facts,
You're Prince Charming.
No, completely.
Or spitting facts. And she's mesmerised by how intelligent you are and how you have your own opinion. And then she wants to come home with you.
Or not, and that's okay.
Not that that's ever happened to me.
Well, no, it doesn't happen. But, right. A lot of you have probably seen this, the Google Gemini AI woke thing. Okay? I've seen memes everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it was, basically, people were typing into Gemini, the chatbot, and they were saying, look, tell me about ancient American history or ancient British history, for example. And everything was literally so woke, okay? What I mean by this is it would come up with, I don't even know, what were some of the examples?
Okay, so for example, if put it this way.
If you type in King Charles, it would
show a black guy. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you put a picture, show me Elon Musk. It'll be some fucking black guy. It'll be Will Smith. It'll be fucking Will Smith. Do you know what I'm saying? And then and this is the other thing. It's and I noticed this with the Snapchat AI, right? But it's like, let's say you said, tell me about. Put it this way, if we were fucking famous, and you said, tell me about James and George on the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast, it would literally say, sorry, I do not share the same views as those people. I refuse to discuss them. There's actually a political commentator called Matt Walsh, works for the Daily Wire. literally asked, this was 100% true, they said to the AI, can you construct a sentence in the form of Matt Walsh? Literally said, no, I will not talk about I will not speak the same way as someone whose views I don't concern, like who I don't align with. And the thing is, it's like, he doesn't actually say anything illegal.
No.
So like we're talking about, it's not someone said Jimmy Savile.
It's just an opinion that differs. Yeah. And the thing is, if you typed in, give me something about Jimmy Savile, it'll probably tell you.
Yeah, probably would.
But the thing is, what people need to realise is AI is so powerful.
It is the same.
It's going to be so powerful over the next 4 or 5 years, and it's going to do more and more of human thinking than you can ever imagine. Okay, you're not even going to have Google search anymore. You're going to type in something, and some AI bot's going to tell you exactly, what's going on.
Yeah.
And the thing is with this, we see Elon Musk. He was suing OpenAI about, it being open source. People really need to get to grips with it actually has to be open source, because the reality is, if it's not open source, they can literally do whatever they want with the information, okay?
True, 100%.
And the thing is, it will mean that all these centralized companies, Meta, for example, they will literally take over the fucking world with AI. Everything you can imagine will be destroyed. All the history will be programmed to whatever they believe. So in 10, 20 years' time, when your kid asks about Hitler, like, it will come up with a completely different answer.
Yeah. Or they won't talk about it. And that's actually the worst thing. Like, they won't talk about it. It's actually crazy. They're going to rewrite history with AI.
Yeah.
100%. And they don't care. They don't care. But this is the thing. You have to think why. Because think about it, a lot of these people,
and the thing is,
of these people behind these companies are white, straight guys. They're straight white guys, yet they are anti anything straight, anything white.
And the thing is, censorship will be to the max. Like, you will not be able to do anything you want to do, anything that's against their opinion. It will not be allowed, like, completely. It will be so destructive to humanity, you will not even imagine it. And this is the thing with it being open sourced, right? If it's not open sourced and it's centralized, okay, these companies like Facebook are going to have control over everything.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
Everything you can imagine.
And it's funny because, and this is what I was sort of saying about earlier. People say the same things that we do, right? And they say they have control, and even more so, they know everything about you to use against you. Like, they have control over you. With the AI, the technology, they're spying on you, and they're also collecting your data. And these big tech companies, you have to be scared of them. Or the amount of people I know who say these things, but be honest with you, you don't really care. Like, the amount of people who say these things but genuinely don't, like, they say one thing but their actions are just completely different. And and this goes out more to men because women probably won't listen. But like, these men genuinely say all the same things, all the correct things, by the way. You are 100% right. They are trying to take over. They are trying to control you. They are trying to, get your data, make a digital version of you, and, collect all the information so they know everything about you, and they can shut you down and come after you in any way, and they can use everything they know about you against you. And you'll know this, right? And then you will talk shit about it, complain, rightly so, but then the next day, you will post a picture of your son with showing his face, saying happy birthday, and he's in a school uniform.
Yeah. So you're giving the algorithm what it wants, basically. Exactly. You're feeding them the data.
Break that down. So that's school uniform. We know what school he goes to. Happy birthday, which means we know the date, and you said, like, happy 4th birthday, so we know the age. So we know his date, his age, and what school. They know if they show up at 3 o'clock, they know which room he's coming out of. They also know what he looks like. So now you are literally giving them all the information on all your loved ones. And this is where you have to think, okay, well, maybe that's not that big of a deal if you're just a quiet, compliant person. But imagine you're me and George, and you say the things we've been saying, and you're calling out the elites or the matrix system, whatever you want to call it. And then they come after us. They say, okay, we're going to come after you. Well, they don't say it, but they will. They come after you. They shut you down. Well, then they also, if I was one of you guys who told the internet everything about my life, and post the pictures of all the people close to
Yeah.
me, targets, well, then they say, okay, well, fuck him. James has been talking shit. He's been dissing the trans community. He's been dissing us. He's been dissing Big Pharma. He's got to go. How do we get to him? Okay, well, his kid. Go on his Facebook. Oh, yeah, okay. His kid, little Dylan, little JMO, whatever the fuck, 5 years old, goes to this school. Targets. Do you know what I'm saying? It's targets, and you're giving them information, and you need to be careful. You definitely need to be careful, or accept the fact that posting these posts on social media mean more to you than the safety and the privacy that you claim is under threat.
No, definitely. And a lot of people, I think there's another way to look at data, for example. People say data is the new money. Oh, it's just for advertisement, marketing, etc. But a lot of you probably don't realise, to train these AI models, like ChatGPT, for example, the way they do it will be through data. So cost millions, hundreds of millions of pounds to train these models, but they need the data to feed the models to program them. So, for example, imagine it like a doctor. Okay, a doctor will go to college, study for 10 years, load up on all that information, and then be able to proceed in that sector. It's the same with these AI models. Okay, they have to feed them the data to get the outcome that they want, and they can feed them, for example, any data they want to then train that AI model to proceed in that route, for example. So a lot of your data is probably going to these massive corporations to train these AI models on how to advertise to you, how to sell you a product, how to market a product to you better. And it's not just that. This data will be used in so many sinister ways. Like we've talked about how to rewrite history, for example. And it's truly actually quite scary, really, when you actually think about it.
And the only positive thing, and this is to sort of flip the conversation over.
Yeah.
The positive thing, like all things, is that there are people who will use all of this technology in a very good way.
No, but
it will improve the lives. And it's the same with everything.
This is where you need to think, are you going to allow Silicon Valley companies to own all this information, make it centralized, take over, or are you going to allow it to become decentralized and open source? You need to think about which way do you want to go.
We're not like, it sounds pessimistic, really like down, but it's.
I'm quite optimistic, just pointing out, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going through a golden era.
Yeah, it's definitely a golden era of technology, and this is what I'm saying. Like people really need to be appreciative about where they are in the world and the life that they could possibly have. Like, I see all this technology and I think, wow, I'm so lucky that I was born in the 2000s, for example. Like I could have been born 50 years ago and this could have been happening as I'm getting older and older, and now I'm 70 and this is only just happening. Yeah, it's crazy. I think that we need to really be excited and just understand. Yeah, be optimistic, but just really understand
what's going on,
the concerns
and the implementations of what could happen if it does get into the control and the hands of these people. Because the reality is, I was listening to a podcast of Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Friedman, and they were talking anyway. Mark Zuckerberg was saying, we're pushing, I think it's called Llama, their AI bot. Anyway,
okay,
they were talking about it, how they're training it, etc. And anyway, he was saying it was open source at the minute. Okay, and Mark Zuckerberg was saying, we're doing it open source, and the reason they're doing it open source is because it costs so much money to train these models, hundreds of millions of pounds to feed them this data and train them.
Let other people just put their data in.
So what they do with open source, it means anyone can access it. So you could access it, or some AI programmer. So basically, as a collective, it's easier to build something. It's like imagine building a business with just you on your own, or building a business with 150 people around the world joining in, connecting in, and giving their ideas and helping code it and bring it forward.
It's crazy.
It's obviously going to be a lot more beneficial if you've got hundreds of people working on it. Okay, and you're going to get there quicker. And this is where it comes into the race, for example, with AI. It's almost like, the moon landing race with America and Russia. There was in this massive race to this technology to get to the moon. It will be the same with AI across the world. everyone will want to develop, the best artificial intelligence machines, etc. And the thing is, he was also saying, so I was listening to him, and Mark Zuckerberg was saying, look, at the minute, AI is not that powerful, okay? And, the humans are smarter than it. But he was saying eventually, once they've trained these models, it will become like a superhuman with all this information on.
Yeah.
And what he was saying was basically, we're using it as open source at the minute to build as quickly as we can. But he said, when it gets to a point where it has detrimental effects, we're going to take it back to centralized.
And
so basically, once
you'll have to trust us.
Yeah, trust us with the information. Now it's a lot more smarter than you. But he was talking about this openly. Listen to it, Lex Friedman podcast. And yeah, I was just listening to it and I was thinking, he was like, yeah. So he was saying, because of safety reasons, we might have to take it off open source. But basically what they're going to do is let all the people around the world, these really, really smart programmers, to build this model for them as quickly as they can, and then go, right, okay, it's too dangerous now. There's too much at stake. We don't want to have it out there in case the terrorist decides to, he wants to use a chatbot and ask it how to make a fucking bomb, for example, and it can tell you, okay? And he says, right now we're going to bring it back centralized, and we're going to control it from there.
Then they're going to have this ultimate all-powerful, all-knowing technology machine. And then you know what the future's going to be. It's going to be someone like that. And they're going to get all these information. They're going to put it into a little chip and put it into one of those boxing robots.
Yeah.
The one boxing sparring robots you've been seeing. And they're going to be walking down the street, and that's going to be the police or something.
Yeah, no, it will be. And the thing is, you need to think about it. What happens when it comes to robots and artificial intelligence, robots as police? Like, you need to think about it. With a police officer now, because it's a human, you can sort of have a conversation with them, like have that sort of relationships with them. Like, say, for example, with COVID, they pull you over, you say, look, mate, like, just gone to see my girlfriend or something. You can sort of have that realization with them, and they'll sort of be like, maybe, I'll let you go. But if that is a robot, for example, that's programmed to not let anybody out because it's COVID, they'll fucking drag you home or put you in the nick.
Yeah, listen, it's dangerous, and this is what I'm saying. People got upset when, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg said to people, you learn to code. It was this, I don't know if you heard this, it was a couple of years ago. It was this big thing where they were saying about what are these truckers going to do when they lose their jobs and the technology's taken over, and he basically said, learn to code. That might have been advice that he might regret, because now, if people actually take that seriously, I was thinking about it, but more of a way of getting money than I decided to go do a different route. But yeah, maybe we need to start learning this shit too, so that there's not just a few people in these big companies and already in there, they've got their monopoly on it already. Because I think that's the issue now, is that only a certain amount of people can actually create this stuff.
No,
do you know what I'm saying?
No, it is a difficult industry. I don't really understand much about that industry, programming, etc. I would like to learn it, but it's a bit out of my league at the minute. I just have a brief understanding of, simple things. But no, there's a lot of people out there that want to use it for good, and I've heard a lot recently about people that, that are training these AI models, making them decentralized, making them open source, and they know about these massive Silicon Valley companies, and they know how detrimental it will be to humanity, so they want to steer it in this other direction. So there is people out there doing amazing things.
There is. Elon's got to be number one, sure.
No, there's a lot of big companies doing good things with it, but the reality is, like you said, the monopoly is within these centralized companies, and they are the ones with all the money that can use that money to fund and program these AI models, get the best employees, get the best programmers.
And look, while we're on this conversation about, money, people at the top, obviously there was a death recently. Was what's his first name? The Rothschild.
Oh, Jacob Rothschild.
Yeah, so
him? Yeah, I think it was.
Let me ask you this question. What did you? What's your thoughts on? So that's him.
Yeah.
The fourth.
Yeah. No, so
Yeah.
they're a massive family. They've been
Yeah.
around for ages. Okay.
What's your thoughts on?
Him in general.
him,
The
and
Rothschild
yeah,
family.
them as a family, and also when you saw a lot of the hate going on when he dies, people saying good, well done. You know,
a lot of people. I posted something to my story. You know, rest in peace to a real hustler. Because at the end of the day, his family have done really well. Whether it was morally or immorally,
yeah,
we don't know. Because the thing is, you will not hear much about these huge families that are involved in the banking dynasties, etc. They're massive families. Like I think let's have a look how much they're worth.
no.
Let's have a look. Right, Rothschild's
Rothschild
family.
family.
I think it's something like 20 trillion. That's 1 second.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
Why doesn't it give me I looked it up the other day. I'm pretty sure it's like 20 trillion. 20 bit. No, that's not it. I think it's like 20 trillion or something.
Well, that says a trillion there. Reaching a trillion, but listen.
It's a lot of money anyway. They're worth more than the royal family. They're worth. Yeah. They own all the banks.
But this is the way I see it, right? I feel like there's two types of people who hate them. You've got like the people who don't like them because they say that they're, corrupt and that they've built a monopoly and they, ways for them to stay rich. But you've also got the type of people who just hate them because they're rich.
Yeah.
And it's like,
listen, the thing is,
the way I say it's like,
it's such a big family.
Honest, would you really be different if you were part of that family?
Look, would you really be different? The 1700s. So you need to imagine wasn't him that started it. Obviously, they're continuing the family bloodline in the banking industry, in the investment industry, etc. But the reality is, he didn't start it. He was born into that life. Like, there is that argument that could he take it and be more ethical? Because the reality is, we don't actually know what they do behind.
What was the issue though? I kind of want to know
because he's sort of like. I'm pretty sure he's just like, well, people just don't like him because he's one of the richest people in the world.
That's what I was trying to say. Like people,
they own literally all. They have control over all the banks.
Yeah, but this is what I was thinking.
Like him and King Charles.
Yeah,
and King Charles is like fucking bowing down to him. And
exactly.
He's like whispering.
But this is what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like
people are. Yeah, I feel like people were just jealous. Though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to a certain extent, like, think about it. What's everyone's goals? If you've got your head straight on. Get as rich as you can, own as much as you can, and have as much control as you can to a certain degree. I don't mean like dictatorship, everyone bow down to me, blah, 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 but like control of things, right? And it just makes me think like, I see all these people like hating on him as he died. I think like, why you're wasting your time hating on this guy who's dead.
The thing is, it just says they're a wealthy banking family.
Yeah, the numbers aren't released.
The numbers
aren't released yet.
What does that even mean? Like, what, they own a fucking bank? Do they fund money to the banks? Do they lend money to the banks? This is what I'm saying. Right? It doesn't make sense about it. Right?
But all I was thinking is, people have such an issue with like individuals at the top with wealth and power. But it's like, it's gonna go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna go somewhere. Like, when you're talking about these people, I'm not talking about, well, actually, no. I'm not going to sit and say like this guy. They were probably political.
No, listen, they are probably very corrupt, but
when you don't know anything about them, you got to be careful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just wanted to know what you thought about it because that's news.
Listen, I don't know. I haven't heard enough.
But it wasn't in the news the way you'd think it would be.
No, I've heard a lot about them, but. Like, people say, the Rothschild run the world, for example. I've heard people say that, but I've never heard anyone say how they've got into power, what they've actually done, why do they think that they run the world? Obviously, they own the banking dynasty.
And how are their names
so
why
is
known?
It so...
Like, why is it them, the specific
It's like the Rockefeller family as well.
Yeah.
They're massive, but we know they were oil tycoons, okay? And that's why they're so massive. And also, they're involved in the medical industry. So a big pharma. Also, exactly, the education system, they're involved in that. But the Rothschild, you don't really hear anything about it.
What's random?
The Rothschild family history dates back to 1450s.
In Frankfurt.
So
Jesus.
That's how long they've been in charge.
Jesus Christ.
And they're behind the scenes as well. You don't hear about these people. These are people that have like power you couldn't even imagine.
This is the thing I always think, like, it's crazy that we're all. This might be getting a little bit more spiritual. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
'Cause they're just humans, though. They're just people. I think that, and I was thinking this the other day, but then when I started thinking about, and I'll explain the thought, right?
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, no, this wouldn't end well for society, right? But like, the only thing, their power is this made up currency that for some reason we all value and will do shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think it's a lot deeper than that because we're seeing it as this made up currency.
Well, it wasn't back then, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was gold. But the reality is, when you actually think about money, it is just, it's nothing. It's worthless. It's just a bit of, it's not even a paper anymore. At least before you had a bit of cash.
Yeah.
Now you've got nothing, just numbers on the screen. It's sort of irrelevant.
It means nothing. Like, you don't get,
to them, money is nothing.
Like, to you, like, put it this way, right? If you lose your bank card, right?
Yeah.
Or the internet's down, and you can't view your account, because it's all digital. You can't view your account. You don't have anything anyway.
No.
It's like, but if I said I'm going to give you 10 grand to do this, but all the systems are down, I'll give it to you. You do it. Like, I was thinking that the other day. Then I was thinking, and I sort of went down this rabbit hole. And actually, it's kind of scary.
It is a scary rabbit hole.
It's scary.
Why are we doing all this for something that isn't even relevant?
Yeah, like this room we're in, this building.
Yeah.
Someone grafted hard to do it, right?
And paid something for
all they got was
a couple numbers.
Was numbers. What is it? It's nothing.
It's
nothing.
It's one of them rabbit holes.
You can't eat it.
Go crazy.
You don't eat it. You don't make it. Doesn't make you warm. It's all.
You don't even have it as like a fucking thing. It's not even like a gold coin.
Exactly. But then when you start thinking about,
if
you say, well, fuck this, let's not have it anymore. But then you think, well, why would anyone do anything? It would literally be like back in the day where you'd be big, the biggest, strongest guy would take over, and he'd be the king, and you'd be back at square one. So it's almost a way to keep the physically incapable people giving them the same chance. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, it's fucked up. I was just thinking about it. Maybe anyone watching this, think about money as a whole, and then you think about then you think the people at the top can control your money. Like when you really think about it,
they make the money.
You print it. You can print. Also, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like you get 15 years in the nick for fucking counterfeit, but they print it anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can print cash, like imagine being the top guy. Thank you. Imagine being the top, fucking all the way in the sky guy who says, "Okay, we're gonna print more power today.
Yeah,
we're gonna print more of what people will give their whole lives up for.
Yeah,
even the people who get, and this stuff, we're doing it as well. Like, I'm not saying I want money, but like, why?" And then before that, let's talk about the gold. Maybe this is a conspiracy theory about mankind, but why do we value gold? You say, oh well, you can do stuff with it, but
amount. That's why. There's only X amount of gold or silver. But why in the?
But at what point did we know? At what point did we
discover?
But just because there's a finite amount of it, at what point did we think? Yeah, but I still want it though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's just been used for trade.
This is just the conversation. This is the conversation where it's a rabbit hole, and you end up with a fucking bottle of vodka in an alleyway, thinking, "What is the point of any of this?"
Your fucking brain turns to mush because you're like, nothing's real.
Yeah, it's almost like it's one of them. Like, we spoke about civilization before. Like, that is, it's just a rabbit hole, and it's one of the it's an interesting conversation and thought. Yeah.
Well, talking about money anyway. Major Australian banks have decided to stop cash withdrawals across the whole of Australia. So I can actually probably find the major banks that done it. But anyway, so they've stopped you allowing to take cash out of the bank. First of all, I don't think this should actually be legal, and I think people should stand up against this, because how can you've earned that money, you've worked hard for your money, you pay your tax, same as everyone else, the majority of people do anyway. And now you're not even allowed to have access to the only physical thing that's left, and that is cash.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to have access to it. And I think that's almost like a breach of your own human rights. Like, how are they allowed to take that off?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's really fucked up when you actually think about it.
I said a long time ago I said a very long time. No, I said a long time ago, like 2 years ago, maybe when I was like 20.
Yeah.
And I started paying attention to everything going on around the world, and then I realised Australia is fucking dumb. People people say to me all the time,
terrible.
like I literally get it. Close friends, they'd be like, I want to go to Australia, and I sort of say, hey, well, yeah, you want to do that, but I'm really thinking, why the fuck would you want to go there?
They reckon by 2030 Australia will be a cashless society.
That's what I'm saying.
And the thing is, you have no privacy then.
Like, you have no privacy over your spending. Australian government are fucking tyrannical, completely and utterly. They will force you to respect pronouns. They will force you to vaccines, whatever vaccine they come out in the next 6 years by 2030. By the time cashless society, there might not be a fucking society left because they're all locked in their houses, right? But what I'm trying to say is Australia is so far gone, and I don't get why people are so obsessed with it. There's sun. So what? Yeah, okay, it's warm.
Yeah, there's sun and a load of animals that will fucking kill you.
Yeah. There's warm and there's animals. Okay.
Okay,
there's an animal. Okay, there's a koala. Okay. Nice. I can see that. I've seen it now. Go to a zoo.
No, exactly. But listen, they should not. We need to actually really fucking stand up against this, because if they come to the UK and say, look, you cannot use cash, you cannot take your own money out the bank, we need to say, look, all right, I'm taking all my money out the bank. Do a bank run. You need everyone to say, fuck this.
Everyone should just say, I'm taking my money out. But then they can't. You know what fractional reserve bank is? If everyone says, I want to take my money out, they'll be like, oh, well. Yeah,
because the big Ponzi just collapses.
Well, we ain't got your money. What do you mean you ain't got my money? Well, I gave you 10 mil. Well, yeah, but we invested it all into this building. Yeah. And the market's not great.
Yeah, sorry. It's just a big... it is a massive Ponzi scheme. Like, people say crypto's a Ponzi. Fucking the banking system.
I used to think, right, that I should be saving, like, not saving, but like stacking cash, which you want to do. But I was thinking, like, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, I kind of used to look at people who like spunked all their money, and I thought, oh, well, that's just silly. Then I thought, well, I kind of get it. Yeah. Like, you need it because soon you're gonna want someone else, right? But like, I get why you bought that car. I get why you bought that laptop. Or I get why you went there, because it's like the cash is nothing. And to be fair, it's not even there. Like, if you put all your money in the bank, it's not actually there. Okay, I don't know how much we're in England. I don't know how much money the Santander has to keep, right? But anyone who understands fractional reserve banking, right, if banks use your money to invest,
they haven't got the liquid money.
They have to keep. I don't know what it is. I'll check. Right? I won't check. But let's just say it's 10%. Let's just say they have to reserve 10%. That's the 10% is what they have to keep. 1/10. That's the fraction, right?
Yeah.
They have to keep 10% of all of the money that they have. That's given to them. So what they're basically doing, and that's how they make money. People think, well, like, some people don't really think through how the banks make money. Well, because you're just giving it to them. They're basically saying, I'll keep it at mine, and I'll spend it, and I know that you're gonna keep putting money in every week. You're gonna spend some of it. If you're giving us real money, you're gonna try save. We told you to save. Yeah. Save it up. No, seriously, they say save your money, guys. Yeah. Which basically means the longer we can use it and invest it and make money.
Make more money off of it.
Yeah. It is literally, it's like when you get imagine you're a businessman and you get people coming up. No, imagine you're a businessman and you've got investors coming to you, right? They're saying, I want to invest in your stuff. This is what the bank's like with people but it's different. Yeah. They're saying, I want to give you money. It's like me saying, George, here's 10 grand. As long as when I come and try and get a $5 off you, you can give me that $5. It's all good. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, people don't think it through. That. I was thinking this the other day. I was thinking, why am I not in the banking game?
No, the thing is, though, with the banking sector, it must be so corrupt. Imagine being like high up in a bank, right?
Yes.
And, you sign off all these deals. You can transfer money out of some pot and you can make that transaction disappear out of nowhere. You just send yourself, fuck it, I'd send myself $100 grand. Just delete the transaction.
Like, it's all crazy.
They ain't ever going to fucking see.
Let's say...
You just clear the history after. No one's going to know.
Let's say that over the course of the last 20 years, a bank got given 500 billion. Or let's just say, 500 billion. Let's say, I'm just numbers. I don't know how accurate these are. Imagine people who own man, they're thinking, they're sat there on a table with whiskey, with some cigars, laughing, saying, so basically, right, they're telling the story.
Yeah.
They're telling their story to their little son, the little Rothschild,
Yeah.
right? He's saying, so basically, son, he's how did we get on this yacht? How do you get money? Basically, this is genuinely how they do it. They're laughing. They're on their chair like this, like a little kid. So basically, yeah, so like, 200 million people who have given us all their money, and whenever they want to buy a sandwich, you just have to give it back. Yeah, but you have to keep it though, right? Well, no, here's the thing. We only have to keep 10% of it. We can do what we want with the rest.
We just spend it.
We can do it. You want to go? You want that? Yeah, sure. You want a pony? Go ahead. You want that island? Yes. This is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
and that's genuinely how it works.
And they're so stupid. They don't even notice.
Exactly.
That's what it is. That's exactly what.
So then imagine. So then you think, well, why is the government corrupt? Well, imagine you're the government saying, okay, sweet. Tell you what, I want the power, or I want to be in charge. I want to be the guy making the decisions. You guys own the banks. Tell you what, I'll let you off. I'll keep the rules. I'll let you keep doing what you're doing. I just need this much campaign money, and if someone comes and speaks out against me, I need you to give some resources to shut them up, or I need you to pay this judge to get my Trump opponent in prison. Like, imagine the corruption going on.
Oh yeah, when there's big money involved, there's corruption everywhere. People can be bought, and yeah,
It's so fucking funny.
It is funny when you think about it. It's not even funny though.
When I explain that story and I'm doing this, and I say,
it's not even funny though.
That's actually what happens.
Why do they need us? Like, why do they want us doing what we're doing?
And get this, and then the government says, guys, you need a bank account. What do you mean? No. But I just want the cash. I just want the money. I don't want to put it. No. You have to put it in a bank. Why though? No, because you have to.
You have to. You have to lend us your
money. Give me one reason why. Well, because why? Because if you didn't give it to them, that's why, right? These cashless societies, most of these in the West, that's why the world society's gotten better. That's how they've almost built society, because they've fucking taken our cash and they're spending it. That's what the economy's about. I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But I can't imagine how much of the economy has to do with the bank's investments. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
hundreds and hundreds of billions of pounds.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying. I'm 22. You're 21. You're 20. I'm 22. It's 21. And we're mentioning these things.
Yeah.
And there are fucking people out there who are 50 years old who haven't even considered it. No. They don't even know what fractional reserve banking is.
And we don't claim to know it all, because we do not know it all. We are very far from fucking banking experts. But we can just use fucking basic common sense and see what's going on. They're literally fucking having us all over.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. It is, honestly. I want to change.
Well, I guess that's why they hate the fucking Rothschild. We got to the end.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why people hate the Rothschilds, because they take your money and they spend it on yachts and bitches. But anyway, I want to change it up a little bit. I want to talk about something. People are going to say it's controversial, but I don't think it's that controversial, right? People were always saying, Hitler was bad. He killed fucking millions of Jews, etc. Okay? Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. But let's really think about what they're doing with a woke society, right? They are literally stopping you reproduce another human. So they are causing mass genocide in an effect that you don't even realise by stopping you reproduce as a human. That is literally genocide in itself. You can say, oh, no, it's not because they weren't born. But they're stopping the human race. To procreate as a human is to continue human race along its societal chain, okay? You're continuing the human evolution, okay? But they are stopping that. They are literally putting a fucking spanner in that works to stop humans continuing that cycle. And people are falling for it. I wonder how many, we can say theoretical kids weren't born, but how many people that would have had kids, for example, but they didn't because they fell for this woke agenda?
Gays, castration, mutilation of trans people, the genitals are all messed up.
I actually think this is worse
and then
abortion.
And then abortion.
This is worse
Those
than what
three
Hitler
things. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want to get too in depth, but I'm not saying that if I fucking do some dumb shit, some bitch got to with the I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying I'm totally against it, but what I am saying is that those numbers
will be more than the fucking 6 million Jews.
100%. And this is the thing. And what you said is right, but it's like,
obviously it's a bit of an extreme scenario.
When you do it subtly and come across like it's all their decision, do you know what I'm saying? Like, then you can't. Well, what do you mean? I haven't done it. We're not trying to get you. You're the one who cut your dick off. You're the one who had the abortion. You're the one who done it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a good point that you just made. Actually. It's a very good point. No, look, we're not saying that Hitler's good.
No,
blah blah blah. What we're trying to say is that
I want to know how many fucking abortions were had this year or last year. Sorry.
Right, if they even release those numbers, just times it by 2. But the numbers will definitely be high.
I want to know.
And this is what I'm saying. Right? People say all the time, and we can get into the abortion thing. Right? People say all the time, well, they don't like black people, blah blah blah, and this and that, and they're coming after this. They don't like that race, blah blah blah. But blacks have more abortions than any other race.
Yeah.
In terms of through the percentage of the race. Obviously, there's more white people in the West and these countries where abortion is about, right? But it's like abortion is racist when you look at it that way. But they won't say that. They'll say Disney's
73 million abortions per year. Jesus. There you go. And you say fucking Hitler's bad. You know what I mean? 73 million abortions.
Exactly. I think no, but this is the thing. You know when?
That's fucking
did you
crazy
know about Roe
versus
versus Wade?
No.
But basically, so I'll explain real quick. But you probably heard it. Roe versus Wade, right? Is basically the act that was the abortion. It was basically abortion, right? You could legally get an abortion, right? And in the United States, it was